Sydney reporter Ariana Levy joins us now after the Sydney Dawn service. Ari, good morning. Very beautiful service there in Sydney as always also.
Good morning, Mad. Certainly was a very solemn and beautiful service here at Sydney's Martin Place, and that procession was led by the Premier of New South Wales, Chris Minns, who read out a poem, and that was followed a bit by the last ode and the last post as well as an ode, and there was a moment's silence a little bit later. Now, what was particularly beautiful about this morning's dawn service was when the cenotaph was opened to dignitaries and honorary members who laid wreaths on behalf of fallen soldiers, and among them was Bree Till, who's a board member of the Australian War Widows of New South Wales, who laid a wreath on behalf of the War Widows of Australia. Good morning, Bree.
Good morning.
Now, Bree, tell me, you're here on behalf of the War Widows. What does this sort of mean for the organisation today?
Thank you. Well, it's a massive honour. So, War Widows New South Wales encompasses a whole range of different generations of war widows. To be able to step up and represent our organisation at an occasion like this is a really beautiful, humbling experience.
And also being part of the service as well, being able to lay the wreath, what was that feeling like for you?
It really is honouring. It's something that we've done every year in different versions and different iterations. This year was the first time I've done it in uniform. My son and I were in uniform together, which was a real special moment for us. And to be able to do that here in Martin Place in the company that we had was, yeah, quite a cherished moment.
Yeah, and your personal connection to the War Widows, can you just tell me how you got into the organisation?
So after my husband was killed in Afghanistan in 2009, and a number of organisations had reached out, and there were different values and principles that you'd align with, and different sorts of services and supports. So War Widows New South Wales is one of those organisations that really align with my values. It allows members to become board members. It allows us to have voting rights in the organisation and the way that we shape and build and grow. And that I find to be a really important part and quite empowering, and that's important to me.
Definitely. And this morning's service, what did you think of it? Oh,
it was just beautiful. It really was. I am always glad to be by the side of Legacy and RSL as well. There are a number of ex-service organisations, like numbers and numbers of them. There might be associations or all sorts of different groups. I think it's really important that we all find a connection and a tribe. A different organisation might be appropriate for someone, but for us at War Widows New South Wales, it's not just for War Widows. We actually have opened up and have a landing place for all veteran families, and so we're able to bring everyone in and have an opportunity to represent and to empower each other, and it's a really important thing for us.
Yeah, it's definitely, and such a beautiful moment as well. And I saw this morning you had your kids alongside you in the service.
I sure did. Every year I always look out and watch the kids, and you can't help but sort of notice that how well behaved they're trying to be and how human that they are, because we would much prefer people turning up and being real than missing out on that opportunity. So of course for us that meant I had a little kid falling asleep on my arm on one side, and then another kid popping up and laying a wreath and then going over and reading the ode, and you know, really beautiful. So trying to balance out the formalities of the veteran life with the realities of being in a family, and that really is what it's all about. Getting the intersection between the two is something that I can really see, not just defence moving towards, but something our organisation is really acutely aware of.
Yeah, thank you so much for chatting with me this morning, Bree.
No problem, thank you.
Such a wonderful service, and we saw thousands gather here at Martin Place, and when that last post played, you could really hear the haunting almost echoing from the buildings, and it was just a moment that everyone in the crowd, you could see, was really focusing on every note. So really such a beautiful service here in Sydney this morning.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Ari.